winds still 150 miles per hour. We don't see an awful lot of change in the organization. One encouraging piece of information is that the central pressure came up a little bit. It's up now to 939 millibars. So I think probably we could say that at least it's peaked out. At least we certainly hope that's the case. Let me review the warnings just a moment for you here. And we still have out hurricane warnings for the U.S. and the British Virgin Islands and for all the northern leeward group, and that includes St. Martin, St. Bartholomew, Anguilla, Saba, St. Eustatius, St. Kitts, Nevis, Montserrat, Antigua, and Barbuda. And we're the most concerned about the ones in the very north. Anguilla and St. Martin's seem to be almost directly in the path of this very powerful Category 4 hurricane, almost a Category 5. And the warnings that, hurricane warnings we had up in Puerto Rico now have been discontinued, the hurricane part, and there are tropical storm warnings. But it is winding down, doing so pretty rapidly in Puerto Rico. We still have some scattered showers there, of course, and some pretty brisk winds. Even St. Thomas, back quite a ways northwest of where the center is, still gusting to better than 60 miles an hour. We had a report this past hour from St. Croix indicating that the winds were gusting to about 80 miles an hour, even though the center of the hurricane is moving away. Now, it's moving a little bit slower than it was. It's about 9 miles per hour, and we can see where the center is here pretty well, as now just has passed the island of St. Croix and continues to move off at about 9 miles an hour. That's going to put about, maybe 6-7 hours before the center would get as far as Anguilla or St. Martin's, but the weather certainly is going to deteriorate a lot before that ever happens. And they are, I'd like to point out, on the powerful side of the hurricane. The hurricane is much stronger on the southeast semicircle, and the damaging winds extend much farther south. So whether the center goes right over the islands or just a tad to the north isn't going to make that much difference. They're still going to get very strong winds, and particularly we're concerned about the harbors that are exposed to the west, because it's a different direction than what we usually see. Westerly winds coming into that and westerly swells, so this could be a very serious situation. Of course, there's going to be high surf, and the storm tides, storm surge will be 5 to 8 feet above normal, and there'll be big battering waves on top of that. The potential to do enormous damage. So we're still going to have to put up with this during the night. By tomorrow, we believe it's going to be moving away from the islands, but we have to put up with it one more night. That's it for this time. Now back to Paul in the studio.
Well, joining us now by telephone is the governor of the U.S. Virgin Islands, Charles Turnbull. Mr. Governor, can you tell us what weather conditions you're experiencing right now?
Yes, the U.S. Virgin Islands sustained heavy wind and torrential rains as a result of Hurricane Lenny, a Category 4 storm. The storm is now northeast of St. Croix, taking a northeastern track. At the very end, the southeastern portion of St. Croix was being severely impacted. At the present time, we have seen the hurricane now moving away from us. Here in the Virgin Islands, airports and ports are closed. Government agencies and schools are also closed. We have received reports of flooding in low-lying areas on St. Croix. We have received no reports of fatalities or injuries resulting from the storm. I have already notified the President of the potential for disaster, and we have requested a disaster assistance declaration. So we await that from the White House. FEMA has been in the islands ahead of the storm and have been working with us here at the Emergency Management Agency, or local Emergency Management Agency of ITEMA. Tomorrow I will fly to St. Croix and make an assessment of the damage there. St. Croix is the island that has been most severely impacted by this storm. All the necessary precautions we took. We have a mitigation program into effect, and therefore we don't expect this storm to have the serious impact on us as we had with Hugo and Marilyn. And we have every intention of meeting this challenge and of rising and coming back again. But it has been a blow to us, and we are coping with it very well.
Okay, well, thank you. That's Governor Charles Turnbull of the U.S. Virgin Islands. Our thoughts and prayers will be with you and the residents of the U.S. Virgin Islands. And back here at home, we have some cool